And we're not, there we are. Recording is on. Yeah. Okay.
Oh,
Yeah,
We're
recording
live.
is on.
look alert.
Yeah, straighten up, fly right. So the motion that's on the floor now is moved by Councillor Maybe and seconded by Councillor Cody that Committee of the Whole recommends that Council approve Finance Report number FN-018-20 as presented in camera. Any further discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify. Carries unanimously. Thank you very much. Okay, next motion on the floor, moved by Councillor Cody, seconded by Councillor Maybe, that the Committee of the Whole recommends that Council appoint Kathy Sawyer Griffin, Yona Harvey, and Rob Bickerton to the Leeds and Thousand Islands Public Library Board as members for the remaining term of council. Any discussion on this motion? Seeing none, I'll call the question. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed?
Welcome new members.
Yes, thank you very much for your dedication and your commitment to your community. We appreciate it sincerely. Last but not least is the mayor's update, and it'll be short and sweet. We still remain in a state of emergency during COVID. The office is now open on limited hours here at the township office on Prince Street in Lansdowne. We are continuing to see building permits roll in. We are I want to say we're 10 shy of where we were last year, I think the statistic was. So we are not far off the mark. Things are happening, things are moving, continuing to move forward, which is a good thing. Unfortunately, there was some building that did happen maybe without permitting, but we have called in some reinforcements to get that under control. Ken was brought in temporarily to, and we've already sourced a number of building projects that were begun without building permits. So, and his funding is coming through the building reserve, so it doesn't add to our costs on a regular basis from an operating point of view. But I am very pleased and encouraged to see the number of staff back in the office and operating so cohesively through the cleaning protocols and what have you. And we can get back to brass tacks and seeing our municipal taxpayers and residents coming in to do their business on a regular basis. So I am very pleased with that. Other than that, I do know it wasn't brought up. I believe the splash pad will be open here in the next couple of days. We were waiting on the health unit for inspections, and they're coming in to do that inspection, which will be critical during these very, very hot days ahead of us. And Kendrick's Beach now being open, which is part and parcel of that. So I do appreciate all the effort that has been taken on by the staff to ensure these facilities are now being opened and accessible, especially when the heat wave is coming. And go ahead, Brock, you want to add something?
I believe I was informed earlier this evening that the mask policies has been enacted countywide, if not broader, for all outdoor activity, I'm assuming. So just
I read that myself earlier today, effective midnight tonight.
Yeah, midnight tonight.
Eastern Ontario region, and our director of health for Leeds, Grenville, Lanark was part of that announcement.
So local health units announce regional approach to mandatory face covering / masks. So my guess is that any indoor activity, so that would mean if people are coming into the municipality, they need to be wearing face masks. And any other facility in the township.
The stores, everything.
So anyways, thank you for bringing that forward. I hadn't opened that email. I was busy before council. So thank you for bringing that forward. So the hope is that we'll continue to reduce the spread of the COVID-19 and hopefully keep our staff and our residents safe respectively. And I think that's all I have to add for now. Oh, and the only other thing was just to remind people, based on the conversation we had right before going into camera, it looks like we will be facing a burn ban as of the next day or two. So please burn with caution and only for cooking. So Councillor Olkey, then Councillor Maybe, and then we'll tie this up.
Hey, thank you, Your Worship, and through you, I'm looking at a notice of motion. It's from the CRCA via the Source Water Protection. They have a program and a logo to go with it called Trust the Tap. It's a way of reinforcing that people can trust their water that comes from municipal sources. They go through explanations of it. If we put the logo on our Facebook or whatever, and someone taps on the logo, they get the little essay that goes with it. I think it'd be a useful thing to support public confidence and support this initiative in source water protection. I think it would have a little more oomph if we did it as a resolution or as a motion of council, and I'll prepare that. If I see a will for me to do that, I will go ahead with it.
Okay. Well, I think that we can let our fellow councillor know if we want to move forward with that.
Sure.
Going forward. I think most people in this area do trust our source water protection, but that's why we have somebody on the Cataraqui Region Conservation Authority. Source water protection is important. And that's Gord is our representative there. So, Councillor, maybe you had something to add?
Yes, Your Worship, through you. I was just looking at the calendar, upcoming calendar, and my first thought was when we may get back to the normal council chambers, which would probably be in the fall sometime. But I was noticing that we have meetings in August, which most years we don't, just to throw it out there, and that there's a council, but previous to that is the Planning Act of the 4th of August, but doesn't indicate a meeting of the whole as per se that in August. So I was just wondering whether there's an additional meeting going to be placed there or whether it's one of the same.
I think, Madam Clerk, one of the decisions were made because we missed the meetings that we did in April and the beginning part of May, that this was sort of a makeup meeting to move certain planning aspects forward. So we had just the planning and then the council meeting. There wouldn't be a separate committee of the whole, just because we wanted to continue to move things through. When we talked about it back in the beginning of June, it was more about the fact that we didn't want to hold any planning decisions up if we needed to keep moving things forward. That was the main reason we would have meeting in it.
Not a problem, just trying to confirm what's happened.
Nope. So just the planning meeting and the council meeting.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah.
Okay.
Okay.
And it would be nice to get back in the council chambers to actually be able to see everybody's face and, be able to slap Councillor Jameson and, that kind of thing.
I'm not sure about that.
Yeah.
With masks.
And with
Yeah,
that,
masks.
yeah,
Yeah.
that's the challenge. So,
Yeah.
Miss the calories.
Anyways, thank you.
okay.
Yeah.
Any further comments before we tidy this one up?
Smart remarks.
No, we're good. We've had lots of them. Thank you.
Okay.
All those in the motion on the floor comes from Councillor Cody and seconded by Councillor Maybe. The committee of the whole adjourn. All those in favor, please signify. All those opposed? Carried. Thank you, gentlemen. Thank you, Madam Clerk.
Thank
Thank
you.
you.
Thank you all.
And we will see you next Monday night. Yet
Great
again.
to see you, even if it was a
Stay-
Zoom.
Stay safe.